All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is exciting to be with you today. I'm Ron McCain, and I am a Relive Presidential Director that resides in the beautiful state of Missouri. And I love the fact that this Relive business does not have any boundaries. We've been with Relive really since the beginning, but my wife and I were actually, I was an executive with Relive International for about 19 years. And then, believe it or not, about 5 years ago now, my wife and I decided to really do what we think is important, and that is become a Relive distributor. And we have really enjoyed what that has meant to us, tremendous time freedom, and the opportunity to work one-on-one with folks that make a difference in others' lives. And we're going to spend some time this morning talking about that. I'm super excited. I'm always excited to share Relive. It always makes me feel good about myself. And I think you'll discover that one of the keys for me is to keep things simple. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, so I proudly call myself a semi-educated redneck. And the simpler for me, the better. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Relive is it's a simple business. It just requires us to embrace what I call the simple repetitiveness. There's my redneck coming out. I can't say repetitiveness. And enjoy what Relive has to offer. And this morning, as we kind of go through the slides and we talk about our Relive businesses and what that means to be a distributor, I want you to keep those things in mind. I want you to keep in mind that our business is a simple business, and the focus of that business is caring. That's the biggest thing for Relive for us is how much our distributors care about one another, how much the company cares about us, and how much we care as a group about improving lives all around the world. And we do that one person at a time, one presentation at a time, one shake at a time. And that method has proven to be extremely successful. And it's just a repetitive, easy-to-follow system that we're going to talk about. And that is the Relive Success System. And it really is all about those fundamental steps of helping new people get introduced to Relive and using that simple, repetitive system to do that. Every business relies upon a cycle. And that cycle always revolves around new people. I don't care what business that you're in. I don't care if you're Google or Facebook. Well, you don't want to be Facebook right now probably. But I don't care who you are. If you don't have new people participating in what you have to offer, your business cycle stops. It cannot continue to grow. So we're going to focus, and as long as we continue to focus on helping new people become a part of what we have, there's going to be a tremendous amount of success to be had for everybody. And there are just some simple daily activities that we can take part in and use the support that's provided by our company and by our organizations and our uplines and other distributors to be successful. Oh, all right. How many slides did I go forward here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Give me 1 second. All right, here's our circle of success. And just like any other business, it all requires us to take action. And that action is, they're not big, giant steps. They're just little things that we do every day. And that starts with identifying people that do not know about Relive, making connections with them, sharing what Relive has to offer, inviting them to make a decision to become a part of Relive, getting them registered, and then repeating that process and helping them to join you in that process. So let's talk about identifying. And again, these are just some suggestions that you see on the screen of making a list of 10 people maybe that might be product focused or 10 people that you think are looking for a business opportunity. But I just encourage everyone to just keep that simple. Who doesn't know about Relive? And jot that person's name down. Create a list. Use reminders. Who do I go to church with? Who did I go to school with? Who do my kids play ball with? Who am I who's my insurance agent, who do I talk to on a daily basis, weekly basis. And eventually that list, that process of identifying people that don't know about Relive just becomes a part of your daily activity. I guarantee you that there are people on this line that have been in this business for a week or 25 years, like a few of us, that sharing Relive just becomes a part of who you are. And what's important about that is making sure that you're identifying those people that you're talking to about Relive and keeping a growing list that you can continually use to follow up and refer to and share what Relive has to offer. There are always new people to talk to. And then after we've identified who doesn't know about Relive, it's time to make a connection. And, I think the most important thing about those connections is communicating how much we care about them. It's been said time and time again, people don't care about how much you know, they care about how much you care. And that really is the heart of what Relive offers. We offer people an opportunity to improve their health, their lifestyle, their time freedom, and who doesn't want those things? And so making sure that when we're making those connections, we're focusing on them helps us to identify where best they might be interested in what Relive has to offer. And so make sure that when you can make those connections, you just share your excitement about them. What's going on in your life? We haven't touched base in a while. I saw your son or daughter just made the National Honor Society at school. How awesome is that? There are lots of ways to make connections. And again, I think that the important part of the connection is that it's about them. I'm not connecting with them because I want them to sit down and have a presentation. I'm connecting with them because I care about them. And I'm interested in what's going on in their lives. And as we listen more and more, we're going to identify the whys that exist in their life, the things that are important to them. And then there is always a way to fit their why into what Relive has to offer. And the goal of making those connections is always going to be to get an appointment. It's always best to share Relive when you have set aside time where you can actually focus on that presentation and making sure that they understand everything that Relive has to offer. So when we're making those connections, here are some opening sentences, suggestions that the company has provided for us. These are not bad. But again, for me, the important part is when you're introducing or reintroducing yourself to someone or making those connections is the caring and identifying what's important to them. And Roger said it great last week, being yourself. There's no reason to try to alter who you are and become something different. Be yourself. That's who they know. And the more real that we can be about making those connections, the better off we're going to be. And then after we've had an opportunity to make those connections, and inevitably as we talk about them and what's going on in their lives, they're going to ask us, hey, what are you up to? And that's where you really get the opportunity to set those appointments. You know what? It's interesting that you asked me. My wife and I are getting ready to go to Orlando, Florida, for about a week, and we're growing a business, and I'd love to be able to share that with you. I know that there are a lot of fantastic stories out there, and that's an important point to make is when they ask you how you're doing, that's always a great opportunity to introduce stories. Not a lot of people know this, but I'm down about 25 pounds, and it is 100% related to my diet. I have embraced that Relive system. I have embraced those products, and my weight loss isn't because I'm working out and sweating like I should be. It's because I've made dietary changes that are changing how my body functions. And those are the kind of things that happen with Relive. And I think this is an important point to make. When we become products of those products and people see those changes taking part in our lives, they ask us a lot of questions. I'm part of a shooting group, a competitive shooting group here in St. Louis, and the guys are asking me, you run around with a bunch of 40, 50-year-old men, who doesn't need to lose weight in that group? There might be one or two guys, but they're all asking me what I'm doing. And it's really, really, really easy to share my excitement about what's happening for me, and then an opportunity to set an appointment to share that with them. So when you're sharing that story, it's important that you start with why Relive is important to you. hey, this is really important to me because we've changed. I get emotional, I'm sorry. We've changed and we continue to change lives around the world, and not just people that get involved with what we're doing. Obviously, they see great benefits in their lives from the products and from the business that we have to offer and the time freedom that it gives us and the opportunity it gives us to focus on what's important in our lives. But we're changing lives all around the world through our humanitarian efforts, through our Clovis Foundation. We're feeding kids. We're educating people. We're giving them an opportunity to enjoy life rather than just exist. And so all of those things are important when you're sharing that Relive story, and introducing the stories of Relive is extremely powerful. And I have to tell you, I absolutely love Relive's new app because it gives me access to all of those stories with just a couple of little clicks on my little smartphone. And another thing, that I've discovered with my phone and with that app is that as I share with people what's going on with Relive, that is a great tool to use for follow-up because it lists all those people that I've shared those videos with those stories with, and it lists them in that pending file. And I can always go to that and look for an opportunity to reach back out and reconnect people that maybe haven't had the opportunity yet to hear the story or get an appointment set with them. So make sure that you're taking advantage of those tools and using them to grow your business. And as you share, and I've said it before, but as you share that Relive story, that's a prime opportunity to introduce people to others that are in Relive and have them share their stories. And then sharing the Relive story, there are tons of ways to do that. I talked about the Relive app, but meetings and events are always going to be the most powerful. I've been around Relive since I remember when conference calling became a big deal and three-way calling was brand new. Golly, that dates me, doesn't it? And we continue to develop, our technology continues to develop to the point that it gives us more and more opportunities to share and reach out and touch. But nothing is ever going to be as important as being face-to-face and actually showing someone how much you care. So always look for opportunities to invite people to Relive meetings. And I know that a lot of those meetings are taking place online. I absolutely love that, like this one. But that doesn't mean that you can't sit down with someone and attend those kind of meetings together. And I know that's happening this morning. So I think that's fantastic. That personal connection is always going to be the most important part of Relive. But in that same vein, there are tons of opportunities now to share what we do using all of these new tools that are out there. And speaking of meetings and events, Lauren, why don't you share with everybody what you've got going on in California here in a few weeks?
Woohoo! Yes, we are excited. We have Tom Pinnock coming to Southern California September. I keep getting the dates wrong. 7th and 8th, I believe. Friday night event, and then Saturday morning training with Tom Pinnock. We are so excited.
And I'm excited for you, and I know you guys have big goals. You want to have 100+ people in those meetings, and I know that that's going to happen for you. And if you know anybody that lives in that Southern California area, make sure that you're reaching out and sharing a video and touching base and inviting them to go down there and be a part of that event. That's another fantastic part of what we do as Relive is our meetings are not closed meetings. Anybody can go anywhere, and people are going to support the people that you invite. It's unlike anything that I've ever been a part of or that people will ever be a part of, is how focused everyone is on helping everyone else and not just what's in it for them. So definitely be taking advantage of those things. And I think there's another meeting going on. Oh golly, I've got a brain cramp now. Who else has a meeting coming up? I know there's another meeting coming up in September.
Ron, we do in Portland. On the 22nd, we have a get physical and technical. We're actually going to do a workout in the beginning, and then we're going to talk about technical stuff, social media. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's outstanding. And when is that again in September?
That is September 22nd, and it's at the Courtyard Marriott.
Awesome. So keep an eye on that Relive website that lists where those events are coming. I checked it this morning. Those weren't listed yet, but they're, I'm sure, going to be listed soon. But always be aware of what's going on around you, and the best way to do that is to just be a part of that Relive system and make sure that you're communicating with other distributors. But always remember that the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing about our Relive system is that you don't have to know it all. If you care about people and want to introduce them to something that can change their lives, you've got 90% of your business up and running. Okay, so always focus on those new folks and introducing them to that Relive system. And so after we've done an online presentation, after we've sat down with them at a Tuesday night meeting or a Saturday training, or we've done a webinar with them, there's always the opportunity, and this is an important key that we make sure that we don't miss, to help people or to ask them how they want to be involved with Relive International. And it's that simple. Hey, Quila, I really appreciate your time. I've had a great time visiting with you. What would you like to do with Relive? How would you like to be involved? And when you ask that question, it's extremely important to be prepared to actually do business. You need to have products on hand. You need to have some Fit 3. You need to have some Now or Classic. You need to have something to leave them with so that they can get started right away, because the sooner they start, the more successful that they're going to be. Have a recommended order put together based on where they want to get started. Hey, I just want enough product for myself and my family. Well, that is always at least a quick start, right? And then those packs and kits always come in extremely handy, but make it super, super simple. But I think it's also important that as we ask them for a decision, that we're prepared to go back and revisit anything that they might have a question about. And 9 times out of 10, that's the compensation plan. And so be prepared with that, with those compensation plan tools, to go back and revisit what it means to be a master affiliate. I think it's extremely important that we continue to promote that master affiliate level. Obviously, anywhere that anybody wants to be involved is going to be a great decision, but the most benefit you get from being a part of Relive is at that master affiliate level. And also, don't forget, Relive's got a promotion going on right now. You help someone reach that master affiliate, and they're going to pay you a $250 bonus. You help people, 3 quick starts get involved, you get a bonus. If you help people become part of our autofill program, there's product in it for you. And if you do all 3 of those this month and next month, you get 2 free nights at the event in Orlando that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So it's another key factor. A wonderful thing about our business is how the company rewards us for just doing what we should be doing as distributors anyway, and growing our businesses. So be prepared to ask for a decision. Be prepared to help them to understand things that they don't, and be ready to take action. Okay? The where do you want to get started is a great question, and a lot of people are going to, again, be prepared to revisit the product questions. And this is you've shared a lot of information with them in this 30 to 45 minutes when you make your presentation. Make sure that you keep things simple. We say it all the time. You don't have to understand everything that Relive offers. You just need to have a heart and care about others, and communicate that, and be prepared to keep their nutritional choices simple, depending on where they're at and what they want to start with, and be prepared to keep that business decision simple, and help them to understand all of the options that are available to them. Are we changing pages? And then be prepared to get them registered. Use those tools that we've talked about to make sure that they're able to get started right away. And when I say get started right away, that doesn't just mean ordering product and filling out a distributor application or a master affiliate application. That means helping them get started on taking their products and beginning to identify who they know that doesn't know about Relive. And, one thing that we really haven't touched on is how important the follow-up process is through this entire system that we've developed, or that Relive has developed for us. We identify, we make connections, we follow up with those connections, we set appointments, we follow up after those appointments, we get them started on product or in the business, we follow up, ask them if they're taking their shakes, what kind of changes they're seeing, improvements that they're seeing, and we're prepared to share more stories as we follow up with them, because we've listened and we know what's important to them, so we want to make sure that we're putting them in touch with those stories that fit and their needs and their desires, and just continue. And when you follow up, it just continues to show how much you care about them, which, again, is really the focus of what we do with Relive. And, just use your common sense. You don't want to follow up with somebody 4 times in an hour. That's going to be a little overkill. You're right. But make sure that you are taking notes and reaching out and touching them in areas that are going to be important to them. All right. We've talked about the registering and go. Setting people up to succeed is one of the most important things that we can do. Bob has said it. Tom has said it. Every distributor I've ever talked to has said it. The sooner that they find that they take action in their business, the more successful they're going to be. As you sit down with them and they've decided to do a quick start and they're making a list of the people that they need to talk to, that's a great opportunity to show them what making a connection looks like. Hey, you mentioned that your sister is having troubles with her blood sugars. Why don't we give her a call right now and ask her how she's doing? And on that call, you don't even have to try to even attempt to make an appointment right there if it doesn't feel right, but you're showing them how to reach out and care more about others. It's usually not something you have to teach people, but it's a great reinforcement tool in showing them that, hey, you just took a step in moving your Relive business forward by showing someone that you care. And if, during that conversation, as you're listening to them, she may say something like, I just wish that I could feel better. Well, there's an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I've got these products that were just introduced to me that I really think can help you. Do you have time to sit down with me tomorrow? There's somebody that I'd love to introduce you to that can share more about it with you. How hard is that? When you help people to find solutions to the challenges in their lives, they're going to want to talk to you. And that all starts with caring and making sure that you're taking action. Okay? Use those tools. Lots of great print tools, lots of great online tools. I can't tell you enough how much I enjoy using the app that Relive has introduced because it helps me to follow up. It helps me to stay in touch with what's going on at Relive, and it helps me to show them that Relive is really a cutting-edge company. When I can pull out my phone and say, hey, watch this video, this 20-minute video that Tom Pennick does on just who Relive is, it shows them that we are embracing the different tools that are available to us to grow our business. We're not just a paper and pen company. We are a cutting-edge company, and that applies to how we do business as well as our products, okay? And then just pour yourself into the business cycle that is the Relive system. And it all starts with those daily activities, making connections, setting appointments, making presentations, inviting people to attend special events that are taking place all around the country, helping people come to the events in like we're going to be having in Orlando here in a few weeks, and make sure that you're focusing on helping new people to be a part of that cycle. October 12th and 13th in Orlando, guys. Can anyone I haven't heard an update, but can anybody tell me if Relive has been able to secure additional rooms there yet? I know that they're working on that, and I hadn't heard an update as of this morning, but hey, don't let that deter you. We'll find a place to put them if you get them there. I guarantee you that'll happen. Make sure that as leaders that you're prepared to participate in your business. You need to go to this Relive Live event in Orlando. It's 2 days. They just published in the last few days the outline for the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot of things, get to rub shoulders with each other and hug each other again. So make sure that you're participating in that. And then always look for opportunities to engage your team. Hey, Christina, great point. Leaders go to conference. I love it. Always be engaging your team. Make sure that you've got, you keep a list of, I'm sorry, did I miss something? Always make sure that you are as you stay engaged with Relive, you're going to hear a lot of great stories. Go to your contacts list and pull, make sure that those stories are in your contacts list and put some notes in there. This is a great story about blood sugars. This is a great story about joint issues. This is a great story about inflammation. This is a great story about they got involved in Relive, and 2 weeks later they earned a bonus. Those kind of things are extremely important. And so make sure that you're continuing to develop that library of stories, that you're touching base with good grief. The ambassadors in this business are unlike any that I've ever known. Quila, I just can't say enough about how committed ambassadors are to Relive and how committed they are to helping others. I know Quila spends a lot of time not just working with her group, but working with other groups, and that it's unbelievable the heart that exists in that leadership team. So make sure that you have relationships there, and that you're always aware of what's going on with Relive. Keep an eye on the website. Make sure you're signed up to receive text and email notifications. Make sure that you're following the Facebook feeds and those kind of things. And then goals are always going to be important, right? There should always be a goal. Your goal every day should be introduce someone new to Relive. If that was your primary goal every day, I think everything else falls into place. But there's nothing wrong with having personal goals. You want to reach key director, you want to reach senior director, master director, presidential director, you want to be an ambassador. Those are great things, and they're all going to revolve around who you're talking to and the follow-up that you're doing with the people that you've shared Relive with and the engagement that you have with the team. And then, guys, it's just that easy. All we do is this same process over and over and over and over again. Embrace the simplicity. Don't think that something's broken because it's not. There's nothing wrong with finding a new way to share Relive, but the basics of what we do should, they exist because they work. Make sure that you're identifying, connecting, sharing, helping people make a decision to be involved, and then getting them registered and introducing them to that same system that Relive has. Okay? I am quick. Like I said, I like simple, and Relive is simple. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate everyone being on this call and how much fun I've had sharing this morning. Is there anything else going on? Anything that anybody would like to add this morning?
Oh, you did a great job, Ron.
Well,
hey, Ron.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to share with any of the people that are out networking, and that is share stories. Share stories. They really want to hear what the stories are, because when I share stories, I always have people come up and ask about things. And just this week, I shared Ron Bruce's story about his PTSD and getting off 10 medications. And I had at least 3 different people that came up and said, I need to know how this can help. And it was amazing. It was either a friend or a family that's been going through a lot of problems. And when they hear someone is off of 10 medications, that gets their attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those stories share the heart and spirit of Relive. And they, hearing what real people are, the benefits that real people get from it are absolutely imperative. I just missed a note here. How do I get that screen back up that shows me the comments? See, I'm technically challenged here. Where are my comments?
Bring your cursor up to the top and click on the little talk bubble.
Talk bubble. Oh, there it is. It's really that easy.
We're going to need eventually big and little jars, because our black beans took up a lot of the little jars. We got enough black beans for a couple of weeks. It is good.
Right.
Somebody talk
Ron,
Ron,
this is Lana from Oregon. I would like to find out if you guys have a recorded number on that training call.
I'm sorry, ask that question again.
Do you have a recorded number on the training call by any chance?
Lana, you get the link. It's sent out. We send that link out. Sorry, there's our landscapers here, but you do get, it's a link, so it's not a recording. It's you can't listen to it on a call.
Yeah, Twyla will email a link to everyone, and it's a YouTube video that will show the slides and has the audio attached to it. Great tool. And there are a bunch of great trainings out there because of that she's been doing. So, yeah, you will be able to replay any of these calls and trainings. You're right, Christina. August is also a girlfriend's getaway. Do you want to talk about that real quick? Because obviously that's important to you.
I am right now. Sorry, just trying to pull it up, but it is in August. It's a girlfriend's weekend. There's going to be amazing distributors. There's going to be Tina Van Horn, the Fit 3 winners from the Anaheim Convention Conference, and it's just going to be great for business because who wouldn't love to hear about a trip that you get to go on for your business and that your business might have paid for?
Yeah, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, ladies, gentlemen, if there's nothing else, I'm going to invite you to go out there and find somebody to make a connection with today. How's that?
Thanks, Ron. Great job.
No, thank you,
Ron.
Everybody. Have a great
Thanks,
weekend.
Ron.
You bet.
Thank you,
Ron.
Ron.
Thanks, Ron. Enjoyed the training.
Oh, thank you.